Join me in saying the prayer of peace. May I be at peace. May my heart remain open. May I awaken to the light of my own true nature. May I be healed. May I be a source of healing for all beings. May there be peace on earth. May the hearts of all people be open to themselves and each other. May all people awaken to the light of their own true nature. May all creation be blessed and be blessed to all that is. The highest spiritual path is life itself. If you know how to live daily life, it becomes a liberating experience. But first, you have to approach life properly, or it can be very confusing. Do you want to be happy from this point forward for the rest of your life, regardless of what happens? Unconditional happiness is the highest technique there is. Once you decide you want to be unconditionally happy, something inevitable will happen that challenges you. This test of your commitment is exactly what stimulates spiritual growth. If you look inside, you will see that when you're happy, your heart feels open and the energy rushes up inside of you. When you aren't happy, your heart feels so closed and no energy comes up inside. So to stay happy, just don't close your heart, no matter what happens. You remain open by simply letting go and releasing the tendency to close. You just relax your heart when it starts to tighten. You don't have to be outwardly glowing all the time. You are just joyful inside. Instead of complaining, you're just having fun with the different situations that unfold. One of the ancient names for God in the yogic traditions is Satchitananda, eternal, conscious bliss. God is ecstasy. God is as high as it gets. If you want to be close to God, learn to be joyful. This is a beautiful path. Be happy. One should view their spiritual work as learning to live life without stress, problems, fears, or melodrama. We must first examine why we are so resistant to just letting go, just letting life be life. Will is a real force that emanates from your being. You are not helpless in there. You have the power to affect things. If someone says something that you don't like, obviously our resistance won't stop them from having said that. What we are really resisting is the experience of the event passing through us. So we assert the force of will against the influence of that event in an attempt to stop it from passing through our hearts and minds. The event also has to pass through the psyche at an energetic level. You can wear yourself out struggling with the experience of a single event or even a single thought or emotion. How you deal with your energy flow has a major effect on your life. If you want to understand stress, begin by realizing that you carry around with you and your own set of preconceived notions of how things should be. The alternative is to use life to let go of these impressions and the stress they create. In order for you to do this, you have to become very conscious, like your spiritual path, become the willingness to let whatever happens make it through you, rather than carrying it into the next moment. Begin dealing with each situation with acceptance. Acceptance means that that events can make it through you without resistance. When the events of this world make it through you, you have reached a deep spiritual state. You can then be conscious in the presence of whatever takes place without building up blocked energies. Letting go of yourself is the simplest way to get close to others. This process of relaxing through resistance is beneficial to everything in your life. This is because it directly addresses how to keep your heart open when it is trying to close. Learn to stop resisting reality, and what used to look like stressful problems will begin to look like the stepping stones of your spiritual journey. These were excerpts from The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer.
There's a lot in there, right? Did you like the excerpts? For those of you not reading the book, there's even more in the book. Read the book, get the book. It's really good. So, but as you see, this is, next week will be our last week with the Untethered Soul, so we're almost towards the end of it. So this is really the good part. There's, that idea we've been starting. Let me just give you a little background to where we're up to so far. So, being a child of God, right? Being that which you are, right? We are all told that we are. That the first thing that he starts out with the book, he says, who is the you? Who are you really? Are you connected with your soul? Are you connected with your spirit? Or are you more connected with your personality and the shoulds of your life and the roles that you play in your life, and you've forgotten that true eternal self, that you? So he's talking, so who is the you, right? So then he reminds us that everything is energy, right? Grace is energy, spirit is energy, the world is energy. There's so much energy. And when you understand your you understand energy, and you're connected to it all. So I've been using our beautiful window here as reminding us of that, as we are this beautiful tapestry of the divine, and that the Holy Spirit and God and grace wants to just shine through us onto the world. And we can just be that beacon and go into the world, right? And we have our hearts, which are the energy centers, that can pick that up and then can just emanate it all out, right? But what we do is we take things that happen to us in our lives and we build the wall around ourselves. Now, sometimes it's a very beautiful wall, but it's solid, and we don't let the light come through. So what we're trying to do is to understand the mechanisms that we go through, in sort of like with a little bit of psychology involved in this. But you have to realize this book is getting the knowledge of somebody who has sat and meditated days on end, weeks on end, months on end, years on end, to listen to all of the stuff that went on in his head, so that he could give this knowledge to all of us in a language that we can understand from our daily, everyday existence of where we're at in our lives now, so that we don't have to sit that long, right? We can, if we choose to, can have the benefit of what he's saying. And what he's come to is, one of the things that he talks about is two things, which if you look and you read anything that Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, wrote, you'll see the same thing, because he did a lot of sitting himself. Or if you read the true stories of what Jesus was saying, it's the same thing. The path of unconditional